Brother Mandibulus is in the DorkLair. Welcome to another DorkLair action figure review. Today I'm taking a look at the Mythic Legions Brother Mandibulus. This figure was released in the Advent of Decay wave, which primarily consisted of the 2.0 body type figures. It's where the 2.0 debuted, but this is essentially a 1.0 style figure on that 1.0 body type, bigger body, and they did have a couple things that were on that 1.0 body in that wave. So this is one of the figures that did that. And this is an awesome release, just a really cool skeleton, sort of warlord type character. He's got some cool story elements going on. His brother and sister are also children of Necronominus, and so he's got sort of the undead family ties going on here. And just an awesome figure, really cool sculpt, some neat things going on with the articulated jaw and visor. The second head sculpt is just so detailed and awesome. And he's got some cool weapons too. And the armor's painted fantastic, just a solid release. So let's get into this review. Brother Mandibulus comes in your standard Mythic Legions packaging. And he's got a little bio on the side there where you can kind of like learn a little bit more about him. Cool picture right there. You can see how to spell his name as well. On the back, it's got the usual thing with some of the 2.0 figures on the card. And then some sort of history of Four Horsemen and a little story about Mythos, the world of Mythic Legions. And then you have the Necronominus emblem on the side there. So great packaging, very collector friendly. I like it very much. All right, so starting off with the sculpt paint and details, probably the most striking thing about this figure is this head sculpt. This head sculpt is awesome. You have chainmail around the back, and then you have sort of like this copper bronzy sort of looking helm on the top that's got these horns coming out. One of the horns is broken off, looks incredible. Looks so cool, and the horns themselves are painted really detailed. Lots of weathering going on. And then you have this visor that can flip down. I do get a little rub. I'm not sure if that white is supposed to be there or if that's like rub happening, but it doesn't really matter too much because it just kind of looks like weathering. But yeah, in speaking of weathering, you can see there's a lot of it going on that helmet. And so this visor has got a metallic look to it. Looks great. So menacing. So fitting this time of year, Halloween and all that stuff going on. But look at that guy. It's amazing. And then you kind of lift that up and he's got this really detailed head sculpt, bone face, and then the jaw is actually articulated over there, and it works very well, and it looks excellent at any position you sort of put it in, so pretty awesome. And again, he's got that kind of the chainmail around his neck. It's all part of the sculpted plastic, but it looks great. Looks awesome. Awesome head sculpt. And he's got this collar that's a softer plastic. All the armor is just super detailed weathering. Looks fantastic. Really aggressive sculpt. Sort of like the orc armor type stuff going on there. You can see this arm is armored. And then over here, this arm is actually bone. And it's got that armor piece glued on there. And when I show you the articulation, you'll see that it's got a little loose piece up there, so the arm can actually articulate around it. And then the bone of the arm looks great. You know, it's not just one solid color. There's little like pieces in there and little holes and stuff going on. His torso over here is painted in sort of like this negative black-red pattern. So on one side you have the black over the red, and the other side you have the red over the black. Not sure if that's supposed to be a version of like the Necronominus symbol or what, but looks pretty cool. And then it matches the skirt there, or the loincloth type piece that comes down that's got some weathering on there as well. Nice soft piece that kind of pegs into his pelvis there. And again, the armor's painted really nicely. Just great looking weathering and detail on that. It's just always so impressive that they're doing this at, you know, this like $35 price point. It's really cool. Just an awesome looking figure, really cool head sculpt, and just the whole thing kind of comes together in this like real menacing kind of warlord look. And for some comparisons, on the left we have another 1.0 body type figure, which is the Vorgus Vormilius blood armor, and on the right is a vampire. That's the Vampire Knight on a 2.0 body. And a couple other races. We have a goblin on the right, that is Nubnik, and then on the left we have King Bromden of the Dwarves. a couple Black Series figures. You can see he towers over sort of a regular 6-inch Black Series figure, with the Mandalorian being, you know, sort of your average Black Series height. But I do think he kind of fits in with the Gamorrean guards here, you know, being sort of like this creature type race, almost orc-like. I think the Gamorrean fits right in with Mythic Legions, actually. And here he is with a couple Batman figures. On the right, we have the Mezco 112 Collective PX Sovereign Knight, and on the left, we have the New York Comic-Con exclusive NECA Batman. And finally, here he is next to the Mega Realization Captain America and the Mezco 112 Collective Street Gomez. For accessories, he comes with this alternate head sculpt, which I believe is the exact same second head sculpt that came with the Pixis figure. And it's got an articulated jaw that can open wide up. And then, yeah, really great details on here. Lots of little cracks throughout the cranial plates and stuff. And eyes are painted black and the teeth are nasty. Just an awesome, awesome skull. He also comes with these two pauldrons that I had on there previously, but they're accessories, so I thought I'd kind of show how they look just off of there. Paint is incredible on these. And it looks like real metal. And he's got that neck piece. He's also got this mace. Beautiful piece. Darker kind of metal to the blades on the mace here. And then this piece pops off right there. So really cool. And then the handle looks very wooden. A lot of great sculpted details and some extra paint there on the handle. So really good looking piece right there. He's also got a spear. This is the same spear that came with the Fury Orc that I just reviewed recently, but this one's got a little bit of a different paint job, especially the wraps around the handles on it. Really cool stuff there. And he's got sort of the swashbuckling undead sword here. A little bit of a cleaver style thing with this end. Tons of little nicks and cuts and damage on it. And you got sort of a bone handle here and a little bit of a gold detail there. So I think the three accessories he comes with, I think, are pretty much perfect for this character. He's also got these capes that I'm probably not even going to bother with. I couldn't really figure out a good way to make him look with them on. You're supposed to sort of put two on there, and it's got one hole. It doesn't fit the same way the other capes fit. It's supposed to maybe go over one shoulder or just over one thing. But there is some nice little detailing here on the black piece. There's some weathering and a little bit of paint there on the red piece as well. He comes with the usual strap right here and the adapter pieces that you can put on his back to add wings and stuff. Bone wings would look really cool on this guy, actually. For articulation, his head is on a ball joint, and it can look up quite a bit, and it can look down a good amount, because there's really nothing getting in the way. There's no hair or anything like that on this one. The other head is obviously not going to be as articulated because it's got the mesh around it and the helmet and all the pieces. And then, of course, once you get that collar on there, you can kind of mix things up and prevent some of that articulation from happening. But I figure I'll show you the maximum possible without the collar or the pauldrons or anything like that. The neck is also on a swivel, so that's just a peg that pegs in. It's a swivel, so it doesn't add any additional articulation to it. But for the look of it, you can make that move. The arm can swing up about 90 degrees, which is pretty standard for this body type Mythic Legions figure. And then it can swivel around all the way. The elbow is a single jointed elbow. It can come up this far. My elbow can pop off super easy. Like if I keep going with this, it'll come right out. So that's kind of annoying. There's a few pieces, this hand as well, and then one of the legs. They pop off super easy, but it's not like it's damaged. And it's not like it's going to just pop right off, like fall out. It just kind of happens when you're trying to extend that articulation to, its maximum point. The gauntlet can swivel, and then the hand is on a hinge, and it can rotate as well. And again, see that? It popped right out. Kind of annoying when you are articulating it, but, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not going to be playing with this figure all the time, so I'll get it into a cool pose. It'll be on my shelf. I'll pose it again some other time. The thing will fall out. I'll put it back in, put it back on the shelf, Not that big a deal. This arm, you can see that the piece will get out of the way over here. So that's pretty cool that that piece isn't glued all the way. It's actually loose. So they've been doing that with the figures. The elbows can rotate, and again, gauntlet will swivel, and I showed you the other hand. It's basically the same. His waist is on a ball, and he can kind of rock around. He can crunch forward this far, and then he can crunch back that far and spin, of course. The legs are on hinge and swivel as well. He can do the splits way far out. He can kick his legs forward quite a bit and then backward. There's a upper thigh swivel, and then there's a knee swivel, and then the knee can bend. And the foot can point down a little bit, and then it can point up a little bit. And he can rock side to side with his foot, and it can spin all the way around. So standard Mythic Legions articulation on Brother Mandibulus. And, once you get all his gear on there, he looks pretty solid. Like, get the neck piece on here, the head back on. That thing's sick. Look at that thing. So good. Get the pauldrons back on. They're two pieces, so you can have just one or have them both. But, he's an armored up warlord type skeleton guy, and he looks fantastic. So, yeah, this is like an October figure right here. Halloween's coming. We got skeletons, we got skulls, we got evil, we got dead. So, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos, and be sure to check out my Instagram page. Currently, I'm running a giveaway for Instagram and YouTube subscribers. You got to be on both. And basically all you got to do is post your YouTube username on my Instagram post. So just head over there and check that out. I'm giving away your choice of either a Hyperreal Darth Vader or a Mythic Legions Deluxe Barbarian Legion Builder. So yeah, it's a pretty massive giveaway. I'm really trying to push our subscribers up to 1,000 before we hit our 1-year mark for our first video review. So hopefully we'll get that. Wish me luck. And until next time, may the Force be with you.